Hi, Jessica. You were such a strong female player and an inspiration to me, and I am honored to be having this interview with you. I think that Kyland and I have both been targets for a while now in the house because people did see back in week 5 how strong our bond was. And I do think people thought individually that we were strong players and could be seen as threats, so that together we were extra threatening. And so I think that has a lot to do with why I was initially nominated on the block. I think that the reason I ended up being the target over Kyland probably has a lot to do with the secret alliance that's in the house. It did feel like people were pushing a narrative against me that wasn't necessarily fair, as if I had been super, super loyal to the Kings and then just turned on them the second that I had to, which really wasn't the case, since anyone watching at least knows, and a lot of people in the house should have known, that I had never been that loyal to the Kings in the first place. So I think that I suspect that the Secret Alliance had a lot to do with why I ended up being a target over Kyland. How things have been edited, so I'm actually glad that maybe I get a chance to clear this up. When I went into my HOH reign, I really had 2 goals. I wanted to get rid of someone who I thought would be a threat to my game. And I also wanted to figure out who I wanted to work with going forward. Going into that week, I had been working with the Kings somewhat, and I had been working with the jackpot, I had been working with the flop, and I didn't know which alliance was going to be best for me to get me actually all the way to the end of the game. And so with my initial nominations, I was really just trying to keep my options as open as possible. It wasn't that I wanted to for sure go for the Kings and then change my mind. It was that I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for the Kings, or if I wanted to go against the jackpot, or if I wanted to go against the flop. I had to keep my options as open as possible because I did have a power in play, and I actually didn't have total control over what was going to happen and who was going to be nominated. So I was in a position where I couldn't initially make a firm decision of, I'm going to be loyal to these people and betray these people. I kept my options as open as possible because I knew there was a possibility that even if I felt like I wanted to go after Derek X that week, I might not have been able to. At that point, it may have been better for me to be like, nope, okay, I'm going to be loyal to Derek X then, and instead go after the Kings or something with the jackpot as well. And then as I was keeping my options open, it did become apparent to me that Alyssa was going to earn her safety that week, and I felt good about Xavier being able to earn his safety in a veto. And so at that point, it felt like, okay, I should keep working with the Kings. It makes sense for them to not target me and Kyland. It's dangerous probably for me to keep Derek X in the game. So that's when I made the firm decision to go ahead and target Derek X. But there was never any initial like, yep, I'm going after the Kings. It was always trying to keep my options as open as possible due to the lack of control I had over the power in my week. So with information that Kyland gave me in the house, and then also Azah's goodbye message, my best guess is that there is an alliance in the house whose goal is to have this season be the first season with a black winner. I think that makes a lot of sense for why it would be so important to Kyland and so important to Azah. I feel pretty confident that it's Azah, Kyland, and Xavier. If there's other people, I'm not so sure how big or small it is, but I definitely feel good about those 3 being in the secret alliance. As far as feeling betrayed by Kyland, I mean, it's factual that he betrayed me. He said he wouldn't lie to me. He said he would tell me about every alliance, and he didn't. So he did betray me. But do I feel bitter about it? No, I completely understand why this alliance would be incredibly important to him and why he would fight for it so hard. And he knew what kind of player I was. I was desperate to win this game. If he had ever revealed to me the information about that secret alliance and I felt like revealing it would have saved me, I absolutely would have done so. So knowing how important that secret alliance would have been to him, I think it makes complete sense that he would have kept it a secret from me, and I don't hold that against him. think that that was a huge consequence of the power. If there hadn't been powers if there had not been a power while I was HOH, I actually would not have put Claire on the block. When I initially went into my HOH and I was talking to Kyland about who to put up, the first thing I said was, I do not want to put up Claire and Tiffany. And I meant that because I really did see myself working with them in the game. And I did worry that if I put one of them up, then I would not be able to repair that relationship going forward. But unfortunately for me, there was a power and I had very little control over what was going to happen during my HOH reign due to the roulette wheel, which meant that I couldn't just play Big Brother the way I would have liked to have played it. And I had to consider all of my options for what I had to consider what would keep my options the most open because I didn't know exactly how the roulette wheel was going to go. Going into my HOH, I wasn't sure if I should be loyal to the jackpot or the kings or the flop. And I kind of had to decide that week what was going to be best for me going forward in the game. And in order to do that, I had to keep my options open. And unfortunately, I did come to the conclusion that putting Claire on the block was my best bet for having an opportunity to maybe go against the kings or maybe go against the jackpot or maybe go against the flop, depending on how the rest of the week went and how I felt. So do I regret it? Yeah, in a way I do, because I do wish there would have been some way for me to not have put Claire on the block, and I do think that might have helped me survive longer in the game. But I think I made the best decision that I could, considering the power and the information that I had at the time. So that's all I can say. If I had to say someone was running the house, I would say Xavier, because I'm pretty sure he's in the Secret Alliance and he has really good bonds with people outside of the Secret Alliance, which makes him pretty safe right now. But who I want to see go far, of course, is still Kyland. I'm definitely still rooting for him in this game. I think that it's a relief for me to know that he does still have people on his side and that he's not going to be alone going forward. And so he has a lot better chances than I thought he did initially. And that makes me happy because if he makes it to a final 2 seat, I will be so thrilled for him.